Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing how to deliver a 5-star homebuyer's consultation. So this is something that I struggled with when I was brand new. I didn't know how to start it, what to talk about, what not to talk about, what questions to ask, how to end it, and so forth. So we're going to be covering all that in this video. This way you guys know how to deliver an exceptional homebuyer's consultation. And by the way, before I continue on, I do recommend in-person consultations. This is going to help you guarantee the strongest relationship with your clients. Now, in no way am I saying here that virtual consultations do not work. They definitely do work, but in-person consultation will always be superior to a virtual consultation. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, step number 1 is breaking the ice and sharing the itinerary. This is very, very critical to the homebuyer consultation because oftentimes when people are coming in to see you, whether it be in person or virtual, they're very, very nervous, or maybe they're anxious, maybe they're scared, maybe they don't want to be there. Maybe the husband or the wife forced them to be there and they don't want to buy a home for whatever reason. They also don't know you, right? Chances are they don't know you. They've never met you. Maybe the real estate agent referred you, so they don't know who you are. And on top of that, they're going to be sharing very personal information with you. So it's very important that early on you break the ice. You can do this by making them feel at home, right? Maybe you can bring them some drinks, maybe some cookies, maybe some snacks, right? Whatever you got to do to make them feel welcome, to make them feel at home, relax, and feel comfortable there with you. All right, so once you've broken the ice, maybe you got them some cookies, you got them something to drink, and they're relaxed. Now you want to further relax them, further make them comfortable by sharing the itinerary. Hey, thank you guys for coming. This is exactly what we're gonna go over in this consultation. We're gonna go over A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. So you wanna set this out for them because again, they're scared, they're nervous, and when you tell them what's gonna go on, they're naturally gonna feel more relaxed. When you know what's happening, you're more relaxed. When you don't know what's happening, you're more scared. Right? That's why scary movies are scary, because you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know what's happening. All right, number 2 is going over your homebuyer workshop. And if you're saying, Enrique, why am I going to go over the homebuyer workshop? There's a homebuyer consultation. Because you can't have a consultation with someone. You can't talk about quotes. You can't talk about programs. You can't talk about numbers if they don't even know what a program is. So what I want you to do here is go over your homebuyer workshop with them, even if they're not first-time homebuyers. Believe me, I've sat down with people looking to buy their next home or maybe an investment property, and a lot of the information about loans, programs, and how they work, they do not know this information. So don't assume just because they're homeowners that they know this information. Maybe you're going to go over the workshop a little bit faster if they're homeowners, but regardless, still go over the workshop. Companies do supply this workshop, but if you guys don't have one and you want to use the exact same one that I use, go on my website. I have it on there. It's fantastic. It's great. I promise you guys it's going to revolutionize your business. I'm actually going to go present it at my college in about 2 days. But it's very, very important that you go through this workshop with them. This way, the rest of the consultation is very smooth, very easy, because now they know what you're talking about. The words that are coming out of your mouth are actually going to make sense because you already went over what they mean. Again, you guys, they're tired, they're scared, they're probably angry because they don't want to be there. So those things are already going to inhibit their ability to understand you. So make sure that you're driving in on the education, driving in on helping them understand what's going on. All right, number 3, now you want to go over their wants, their needs, their goals, what they're looking for, what they need help with. So after you go through the workshop, you want to ask them, okay, tell me, how can I help you? What are you looking for? What are your goals? How soon do you want to buy? You know, what's your target mortgage payment? What's your target city? What's your target price point, etc. You want to know their goals here. You want to know what you're looking at before you actually even go into the application. So ask them these questions. If the realtor's there, make sure they ask their questions they need on their side also. This way you guys get a clear picture of, hey, what's the target? You need to know the target, because how can you formulate the best program, the best quotes for them if you don't know the target, right? It's not going to happen. You need to know the target, and so you can create the quotes and the game plan for them. So make sure you ask these questions as well. All right, step number 4, now we're heading into the application. The first thing you want to go over is the income, because as you guys know, loan amount is very, very, very dependent on income, right? If the income is 0, chances are the loan amount is going to be 0. So the income is going to help you determine what range are we looking at in terms of qualifying amount. Or maybe they just started their business and they've only had their business for 2 months. And as you guys know, you need to be in business for at least 2 years. I learned this from my previous manager. You can use the employment to break further ice. Hey, how do you like your job? Oh, that's so cool that you work there. I used to work there too, or whatever, right? So you can also use this to break more ice. All right, step number 5, we're gonna go over the credit report. So this is actually my favorite part, going over the credit report. This is where you're gonna take a look at the credit score and also the monthly obligations and also other things that show up in a credit report. So this is my favorite part because it tells you their credit score, which you guys know is very, very important. This is gonna start pointing out, okay, which program are we going to? Are we going FHA? Are we going conventional? And if they're business owners and they're going bank statement, maybe they're gonna need a higher credit score, etc. So you're gonna know the credit score right off the bat, and then you're gonna lean into the monthly obligations. Okay, you have these obligations, those obligations, and based on that, and we already have the income, you already kind of have an idea as to how much they qualify for. So you can kind of give some insight as to, hey, we may need to pay this off, or hey, your credit looks great, it looks perfect, you don't need to pay anything off because, you know, based on your income, it looks like you qualify for $2 million and you only have one car payment and you want to buy a home that's $500K. Right, so this is my favorite part. If you can, print it out and go over it with them, you know, every single line. That way they know what's going on. It also goes back to service, right? You want to show them, okay, this means that means that means that. This is my favorite part again. Bring a highlighter, highlight it for them, etc. All right, step number 6 is going over the assets. So what they're gonna use for the purchase. Now the reason I leave this last is because it's the most touchy and it's also not necessarily the most important. Right? Income, credit, debt, those are important to the application. Assets are also important, but you can save for your assets, right? You can save for your assets, and then maybe there's a family member that's gonna gift them money. So that also works out nicely too. So it's the last thing I go over. Hey, how much are you looking to put down? How much do you have, etc. Go over all the guidelines with them as necessary. And then you can also talk about down payment assistance programs. Now that you have a clear picture of what the income looks like, what the debts look like, what the credit looks like, you can already tell them, okay, here are some things that we can look at in terms of down payment assistance, right? But if you talk about assets first without going over income and without going over credit or without going over debt, how are you going to talk about potential down payment assistance programs that they qualified for, right? It's just not possible. So that's another reason assets, I leave it last. All right, step number 7, now that you have a clear picture of their wants, their needs, their goals, and the application, their scenario, now you're gonna start spitting out some quotes and give them multiple quotes. Never, ever, 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 ever just give one quote. Even if it's the best quote for them, always give multiple quotes, you guys, even if it's exactly what they're looking for. There's been times where I sat down with the client and they're like, hey, I want FHA because I heard it's a great program, that's the one I want. And I said, well, why is that? And they said, oh, because I heard it's the best program ever. And also it's the lowest down payment. And I said, well, actually there's another program that allows you to get a lower down payment and it has cheaper mortgage insurance. And they're like, I didn't know that. And I said, this would actually be a better program for you. So just because they tell you I want this program or I'm looking for this or I'm looking for that, don't just give them that quote or that program. Give them options. Now, I'm not saying if a program's bad for them, pitch that program and say, hey, this is the best one for you. I'm saying give them options and explain those options. Let them choose. They're the one that's going to choose the mortgage. It's your job to supply options and explain options. And then make sure now that there's something that you offer them that they didn't even know existed. Like I said, that client was like, I want FHA, it's the lowest down payment, but it truly wasn't. There was conventional with 3% down. All right, step number 8, now you want to finalize a pre-approval or finalize the game plan or go over their game plan. If they qualified, okay, great, I'm going to finalize your pre-approval. If they don't qualify, okay, hey, here are the steps that you got to do to get to your game plan. Now, for me personally, depending on the circumstances, I won't always finalize a pre-approval. Let's say it's a very complicated income, or maybe we still have to work on a couple more things before they get to pre-approval. I'll finalize the next day or two and then send out the pre-approval. This way I'm delivering a solid pre-approval because by this time it's going to be maybe 1 hour, maybe 2 hours into the consultation. So you don't want to spend an extra 1 hour, just finalizing the pre-approval and making sure there's no mistakes. Go ahead and maybe take another day to finalize everything if you need to. Because the last thing you want is to deliver or give your client a broken pre-approval or a pre-approval with holes in it. All right, step number 9, this is pretty much the end. When they're heading out, I want you guys to give them a folder. Now, I don't have the folder in front of me right now, but I'll put a picture of it somewhere. I usually just give them a blank folder because a lot of times they come with their paper in hand. They come with their tax returns, their W-2s, their bank statements in hand. And I was like, hey, let me bring a folder for them so when they go back home, they take their documents back home in a folder. And what I want you to do in that folder, or what I have in that folder, is my business card. I also have my homebuyer booklet, and then I also have my homebuyer trifold. You want to pack these people with data, with knowledge, with information, you guys, with marketing material. I don't want you guys to just believe that, hey, just because they went to the workshop, they know everything. They're not gonna know everything. They're gonna forget half of it. And that's why you constantly need to be delivering value, delivering information, delivering content to your clients, because it's a lot of information. They already have their life. They got kids, they got a job, maybe they're going to college, whatever. They don't need any new information in their brain. So a lot of it, they're just naturally gonna reject, hey, I don't need to remember that. So have the booklet for them, have the trifold. This way, that content goes deeper and deeper into their brain, right? So they understand it. You want them to understand this. They want to understand it. So that's another thing that I provide for them. It's also great prospecting, right? They can share it with a friend, they can share it with family, right? They're going to have it at home maybe. That's why I love the booklet, because chances are they're not going to throw the booklet away. The trifold maybe, but not the booklet, or they'll just keep it there. So that's another tip that I have for you guys as part of the consultation. And if you guys don't have a booklet or don't have a trifold, check it out on my website. It's also bundled with the workshop if you guys want to get the bundle and save money. All right, and last step here, you guys, is the next day or maybe after the meeting, I want you guys to send them an email, a follow-up email, going over everything that you guys talked about. Maybe email them some quotes, say thank you, etc. Also, at the bottom, I want you to include a pre-recorded version of your workshop. Guys, again, I'm always saying this. Always pack them with data, with knowledge. They're gonna forget this stuff. You don't want them to come back later to you and say, hey, you never told me that. So at the bottom of the email, make sure you include a link to your recorded first-time homebuyer workshop. They're gonna love it. Also CC the agent so they can see that you're a professional, you're educating these people. Promise you it's gonna be a great, great, great experience. And that's pretty much it, you guys. That's how to deliver a 5-star homebuyer consultation delivered to you by Enrique and Greatness, the greatest loan officer there ever was. So hopefully that was amazing. Hopefully you benefited from it. I know when I was brand new, I didn't know how to do this consultation. No one told me how to do it. No one taught me how to do it. I had to figure it out on my own, right? Through trial, through error, to messing up, to having bad consultations. Follow these steps and I promise you your clients are going to love you. Make sure you get the workshop, make sure you get the booklet, make sure you get the trifold. Your clients are going to love it. Your agents are going to appreciate it. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you guys so much. See you in the next one. And as always, be the greatest.